Today we're in a 2015 Toyota Tacoma. So this install video will cover 2005 to 2015. The earlier models will look a bit different. They won't have this touchscreen one. They have like a CD player with like buttons, but the AC vents and the sort of fascia is the same. There is a small difference that they are in silver in colour, so we will make sure we have that option to be chosen in our kit. So this is the factory radio here. There isn't too much going on here. You can basically do Bluetooth on it. That's about all. There is a factory USB port and auxiliary down here, so we'll keep those working. And then we do obviously have like steering wheel controls, so we'll keep those working as well. And there is also, as you can see here, a reverse camera. So we'll keep the factory reverse camera working, and all the factory options will still work, but it'll give you a good upgrade. First thing you want to do here is grab the trim tools that are included in the kit. Just pop it up under the bottom here of your AC controls, and you'll see that it'll just pop out like that. And in the back here you've got a couple plugs that have to come out. So they're all plugs. We have to push down the tab on the top and pull them out, which I'll show you. So that's how that comes out. You just push down on this tab here and then pull them out. If it seems a bit stuck, push it all the way back in and then push it down hard and then pull it out again. Now there's 4 10mm nuts under here that have to come out. Not sure, it's a bit dark in there if you'll be able to see them, but so one there and the other one's up a bit higher, 2 on each side. So you just got to pull out all 4 of those and then we'll be able to take out the whole unit. Now once you've taken those 4 out, you should be able to just get our hands in here and give the radio a few pulls either side, and you'll see the whole thing just pops out like that. Now on the back here there's a few plugs etc. that have to come out. Again, it's just the same, so you need to push on the top and pull them out. So you can just go ahead and pull all those out. So you can see that's all of them come out here. There's a couple patch cables in here that just go into itself, so you can just actually leave those on. Now depending on what model you have, you might have more or less plugs in this, but they're all the same. So I push the tab in the top and pull them out, and this one down the bottom just has the tab up the top, so get your finger into the top there and pull that out. So that's the old unit out. So now we know these are all the plugs we have. Just remember your bottom 2 here for the air conditioning, and we'll go through and we'll just plug our harness in and just plugs we're going to need. Now sometimes you don't use all the plugs, it just depends on what model you have. So I'll just cover everything you get in our kit here. So obviously you get the main unit with the built-in fascia here. This is the back of the unit, so we call this our main 20-pin plug, auxiliary plugs, just a 4G, and our FM AM antenna. Trim removal tools, you get our manual. Now you get the harness, so this should fit into your factory plugs and a CAN bus there, so that'll allow the unit to be plug and play. USB retention cable, so this will keep the factory USB working. Our dual USBs and external mic plug, so one of these will go into the factory USB and the other one will put down loose, so you can still get to it. Auxiliary, majority of people won't be using this, but it does give you an option to get a third camera in if you wanted to, if you're towing something. A SIM card. This means you can put a SIM card in here and give the unit its own data and phone number. So camera input, so this will hook into the factory reverse camera, and you can have a second camera coming into the F cam. Third USB, this is mainly handy if you want to run our dash cams or our tyre pressure things or other things that we have. You can just plug into here. A Bluetooth antenna, so this will plug in. This antenna, that means the unit can be its sat-nav system. External microphone, you can choose to run this or not run this. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but you can test it. Pre-outs, so this is if you want to run aftermarket amplifier. A 4G antenna, again it just gives us the option for the internet. OBD2 scan tool, so you can run apps and talk to the car's ECU, etc. A beer cooler, a USB drive to run updates and whatnot. Also, what we will include in this kit as well is a 1080p color camera, which means if your vehicle didn't have a reverse camera, we would include the reverse camera in the kit. So what we are doing now is we grab a easy adapter harness kit, and we just line up a few of the plugs. So they can only fit where they fit into, so you can't go wrong here. These 2 big ones are our 2 main ones. There's a 10 and a 6-pin one, and they give us our speaker and our power. Then we got our FM AM antenna here. That one's pretty straightforward. And this one here, probably giving us some steering wheel controls and whatnot. What else we got here? You can see, no, it doesn't match up, so that's cool, can't fit that one. Those bottom ones are the AC. So there's a this one to here. So there's like I said before, they're only going to fit where they can fit, so you just like plug them in like that. If it feels like it doesn't clip in too smoothly, just check in here that there isn't any bent pins. I can see one of these ones is slightly bent, because it should go in pretty smooth and you should hear a little click. This can happen at times, so you can just get a trim tool, your screwdriver in there, and just bend that pin back straight. And then what should happen is we should be all good. We're actually like normally okay, but every now and again that does happen. So that's that clicked in quite nicely then. So that's everything hooked up. There's a couple we're not like using. So this one here with a welder, that's a like factory USB retention. This is probably for the old GPS, and there is another antenna one down here. So that is basically them all hooked up. The only thing I also do is I grab a camera input and I grab the cam in, the purple wire, and plug that into here, because we want to check that our reverse camera is working fine when we do this. So this is just our little check to make sure everything's going to power up and all be working okay. You can actually see here there's two like factory camera plugs. There could be one of them is actually going to this plug here that isn't plugged in, so it can't be that one. So it must be the other one, which is going to this plug, which is plugged in. So sometimes you just got to try like both of them. If you get no signal coming in, try the other one, or just check which one isn't actually plugged into something. So I could tell like this one was obviously not plugged into anything. So what we'll do now is we'll put the head unit in and I'll make sure it all powers up. Then once that's all plugged in, a reverse one, we just grab our head unit here, and this is just a little test to see if everything's going to power up and like work okay. So you just after that main 20 pin plug here, so that's going to go into here like so. You can put the FM AM adapter one into our one, and just the reverse camera one into this one here, the bottom right. Now basically what we want to do is turn the car on and check if you have some power and if our steering wheel controls are working, etc, etc. So we will just grab our keys, turn the car on, and I can see there that the unit has powered up, which is always a good start. So then what we do is now I'm touching the steering wheel controls, and I can see that the steering wheel controls are going up and down. Put the car into reverse. That's okay. We're getting sort of a fuzzy looking screen here, but we have got the trigger, so we click and hold on here, click on the settings, type in 4 zeros, click OK. Now it's set to 1080p AHD, but we want to put it to CVBS NTC. Click on the save button here, and you can see that's all come in and is our working reverse camera now. So we've got reverse camera, we've got steering wheel controls, and we've obviously got sound coming through and the radio working fine. So that's what we did our test. We just want to make sure we've got steering wheel controls, reverse camera's working, we've got like sound and power obviously. So that's all working fine. So now we can go through and put in all the cables. Well, the next thing you have to do is just put in all the cables we're going to use. So this here is for like our SIM cards. If you want to give a device its own like number and its own data, you can. Normally you just like run this down like somewhere handy where you can get it. So we normally like, sort of run it behind here and just like drop it into the glove box. And like the back of this just plugs into our auxiliary port. And to push it, like to put a SIM card in, you can. It's handy if it's in the glove box because then you can do it later on. Now we have our two USBs here and our external microphone. So obviously we include this in the kit. It plugs into here. It's up to you whether you like run this or not, or if you just use the microphone on the unit itself. You can do a test action and just like hang it in and like make a call with like both of them on. That's what we like normally suggest. If you are going to like sort of run the external mic, what we do is we just take it here under the steering wheel and we take it up this side here. If you like pop off of these two, under here there's two screws and this like handle will come off, and then this whole trim part will come off, and just put it down into the sort of same existing like wire tray that's already there. We have a full video showing you how to put this in on cars, but that's basically how you install the external mic if you want to. The other option is like some people just like run it and put it just above the steering wheel here. You can test it in a few different spots and see what like suits you. And also, like I said, you don't actually have to run it. Now the other USB, normally leave one into the glove box and the other one's going to go into our retention cable. So if you plug that into here, and then we have retention cable here, this just plugs into here, and that'll keep that original USB down the bottom here working, the one you have down here. So that'll keep that one working. So just plug that in like so to there. Then you've got the GPS. Now the thing with GPS, it just needs a clear view of the sky with no sort of metal above it. So you check the dash, there's no metal on this dash here, so just peel off your stick pad and stick it up under here like that, and I press it down for 30 seconds or so. It's just a 3M stick pad, so that's how that sticks on, and it's going to give it a perfect view through the windscreen. So 4G antenna is the same as, just like peel it and stick it underneath the bottom of the dash there. Again, it's going to get a clear view. Then we've got a little like Bluetooth antenna that this just needs to plug into the back of the head unit, so make sure you do put that in. And then our third USB. Now this is handy. Again, you can run it to the glove box. We always just run things to the glove box because then they're like easy to get to. But it's handy if you're going to use one of our dash cams, our dual dash cam, or if you're going to use our tire pressure system or some other accessories we have that plug into the USB. So those are basically all the cables you have to put in. And now the next thing we have to do is there's a few little bits you have to take off the factory fascia. So we'll just go through that and then we can start to put it back in. So here's the factory fascia here. There's a couple of things that have to come off. So obviously the hazard button and stuff down the bottom has to come off. You got 2 Phillips screws on either side, 1, 2. See them over here, 1, 2. And then if you undo those are like 4, and then you kind of like sort of bend the case back a bit. I'll show you in a second. There's a few clips that come out. Then we can pop that whole bottom bit off. And then you got these top clips on the top that have to come off. So normally you can just put a trim tool on the one side and put your hand over it and sort of lever it and it'll flick off. Make sure just put your hand over it because they can flick far away. Now you'll see this like bottom bit. The easiest way to get it out is actually to if you push from the bottom with your fingers down here. So I push up under here, and then get a trim tool, get one of your trim tools in, and just lever it on both sides, and you'll see it actually pop out. You can sort of see what holds it in here. It's got these little clips along the side here. You can see them down here, and then it's got the same sort of clips in the top end. So that is what's holding it in. Once that's all done, you've just got to plug all the plugs back in. So you've got the main 20-pin one. You've got our auxiliary one, so they can only go where they can go. So you've got your camera, your USB, this Bluetooth one, the SIM card, etc. So they go into there. You got your goes into the blue one, and your 4G antenna goes in here, and your FM and AM antenna goes to there. And obviously, don't forget to put your hazard switch and light back in. And then we can go and actually push the unit back in. And obviously don't forget to plug in your 2 AC plugs that you took out before, and that'll clip back into here. That's basically the base of the unit in. So the install sounds pretty straightforward and easy. Obviously it's a great truck. They just need a new radio. I think is working as it should. The unit up there, you can see we've got a wireless CarPlay's going on. Steering wheel controls are working. Now obviously we want to make sure the reverse cameras are working as well. So the reverse camera is still working. So that's basically it. Those are all your functions. Obviously the head unit's pretty good. It runs like Android as a base system, so you can actually install whatever apps you want. You can just go to the Play Store here. Obviously it has a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which comes up under there. So that means your phone doesn't have to be connected, but you can have this going on. So this gives you some motion stuff, and then you can also use it for other things like this. But now also in the kit you get an OBD2 scan tool that can just obviously go into there, and then you can actually join that. You can just put in obviously live data from the car. Sorry, password's always 0001234. So once that's all connected up, you can bring in all this sort of data. There is a whole lot of data that these can bring in. If you go all sensors, there is a lot of things. So it's just picking up your OBD2 data. You can also pick up your transmission temperature and whatnot if you're doing towing, or you want to know your transmission temperature. So that's that there. That's why running Android as a base unit's quite neat.